Today I'm going to co-opt that famous Star Trek saying, please forgive me, Star Trekkers, from my mind to your mind. I really believe that to actually use a program, you need to understand what the author is trying to do and the model he has in his head as and how he implements that. So today I'm going to talk about the model I used for Casttor and also how it's mirrored and how it's connected to OBS. As you know, OBS is really a pretty neat program. It does everything and it's used for all sorts of things. Now, when I wrote Casttor, I knew that I really didn't really want to duplicate all that because there's a whole bunch of people that support it and keep it alive and current, and why should I duplicate all that? So essentially this is a composite program where Casttor talks to OBS and tells it what to do. So let's start. You can't see me and I don't have my webcam on, but you can follow the cursor. This Casttor was originally designed as a 30-minute broadcast TV type of thing for public access TV. Not, the CBS and NBC, level of application, but somewhere in between that and what normal OBS people do. So you can see my cursor, and this is a 4K video, so if you're not on 4K, it might be a little blurry, and sorry about that, but if you're actually going to be doing stuff like this, you should get a 4K monitor. And anyway, any program that you can see my cursor. This is a diagram of a 30-minute TV program. And it's easy to understand. We can break it down into segments or blocks. And if you look at the diagram, you'll see I have 0 to 30 minutes. I have a start block, S for start, P for the main program, and sometimes you have commercials in the middle of the program, which this application can do, but I will probably explain at a different time. A fill area where if this is not long enough, let's say most TV programs are 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and if you have a 30-minute block, you got to fill it with something. And normally they fill it with station ID, commercials, PSAs, things like that. So this fill area is expandable. In other words, you need to have it be able to fill the remaining area, the blank area that people just don't want to see black. And then maybe an end block where you have station ID or some PSAs, public service announcements. And you'll see that the start over here may have a couple of videos or something in it. The fill definitely can have more than one video stuck in it, and the end block can have a JPEG or music or something, whatever you like. So this is the simple model: start, program, fill, and end. So how do we do that? Well, if you go over here to OBS, you will see I have a bunch of scenes. And all these scenes start with the word view and do different things. So the idea is that I can come over to Casttor and say, for the start, I want to use this scene. For the program, I want to use that scene. So let's look at how this thing works. Okay, so right now it's sitting on black, so you're not seeing anything here, And I'm going to go over, and this is the timeline editor, and this controls the definition of what is in each block and the order in which you want to run it. So up here you will see SPFE. You'll see 1 through 20 if you want to have more custom blocks. And then down here is the order in which you run these blocks. And the P block, which is a program block, only has one entry. The fill block has is only one entry, and it's usually a directory of stuff. And the rest of them can have multiple videos in them. So let's see. You'll notice that I have SPFE and 1. So let's click on this and see what we get. Okay, I will go back and click on it. This is the start, the S block. It's station ID with music and stuff. I have the audio turned off because it's a lot easier if I put this up on YouTube that I don't get into trouble with some audio that bleeds through and they don't like. So that was the S block. It was station ID. It had one video in it. I'll go to the programming block. So this is the main program. And you'll see that down here it says SD shows widescreen. So this is a standard def old movie. And I chose this scene and made it wide to make it look good. Okay, here is the fill block. And this is a movie, a creepy movie, a trailer actually. Okay, and then this is the end block. So that's just a graphic with my station ID on it. So essentially I've modeled this thing right here in the timeline editor and assigned different files to it. And these files can be a file, a graphic, or a directory. If it's a directory, like down here in the trailers, you'll see that under the run length it says -1, which says, hey, it's a trailer, or it's a directory, and heck, if I don't know what it is, but when I run it I will know, and I will know the correct time. So you will see that if you look down here, you'll see as I go down, it changes to intro, it changes to widescreen, it changes to filler, it changes to JPEG, which is this guy right here. So as I go down through this, it chooses the different scenes and plugs the correct video into it. Now this is a template, which means that I can create many different templates, and you'll see that the name of this template is SD widescreen. And that one is designed to make this SD standard def, which is normally from here to here to here, wider. And if I come over and let's say, let's see, where is my cursor? Come on. Bad thing about 4K is that you lose the cursor really well. So if I do this and bring over a thing from and tell it to do a different directory, there you got Dragnet. Pretty cool, huh? Now the thing about this is that all of these files are programmed into the template except for the program. And what happens is when you actually do the schedule right here, then you can it picks the file from here. So not important right now for you to understand this, but the idea is that the main scheduler replaces the main program block with different things. So let's okay, now we're watching Dragnet. Well, okay, that's fine. We're just playing a bunch of videos. Cool. So what happens if we want to add a station bug or a logo or the name of the file or whatever? We have a thing called overlays, and overlays correspond to essentially the a composite. Think Walt Disney with the cartoons where you flip the pages and you overlay them until you get what you want. Or Photoshop, they have layers also. So what can you do? So let's go over here to logo, and I will turn that on. And you will see that I turned on this logo. And let's see if any of the other ones. I turn on that logo. Okay, so I've defined these two logos, and if I come up here, I should see them, but maybe not. Hold on. So here's the logo that you see over here. Pretty cool. Now, these logos, you remember from the time editor that we have blocks or segments. So with the overlay editor, you can come down and say, for this logo, I want this JPEG. And then you can come down here and say when that logo appears. So G means global, global, and it means starting at the start of the complete program, going all the way to the end. 0 is at the start of the program. And it says start at 0, and for the whole 3,600 seconds, which is an hour, turn it on. Now, you'll see that this actually matches this line for line. So what will happen is you see logo up here, you'll see logo over here. Pretty cool. If you see mask, let me turn off the logo, and that is used for music videos. And this is a JPEG that has a black background and is masked out. So you can create masks and things like that to emphasize things. Here is, let's see, text. This is also a mask with some stuff saying what's coming up next, coming up later. This guy is used for music videos that you can turn on and off. And these are assigned in here. And they are turned on and off depending upon what block you're on, what start time in the block you want to start it at, and the length. We have global, and you can say any of these blocks, S, P, F, E, or 1 through 20. And I mentioned earlier that in addition to these standard ones, you have 1 through 20 to make up extra segments and stuff. So this is interesting. let's see. What is all this red stuff? Okay. You'll see that you'll have a thing that says used, which means that it has an entry in it and it's used. And down here you'll see a thing called used also, but it's all is red. So what does it mean? Well, if you look over here at overlay, you'll see that you'll see overlay, 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 overlay. Then down here you'll see overlay metadata current program. Or let's get one that's actually used. Overlay intro. So if I pick that, you'll notice that there's nothing here. But what happens is whenever you play a program, if you look over here, you'll on the Explorer, you'll see that the name of these files are sort of peculiar. It starts with a bracket and has, well, it's metadata. It's something equals something, comma, something equals something, comma, something equals something, comma, something like title equals Dragnet Big 17. Okay, so this is data from the main program that you are going to run. So let's see. So title, like if I come down here to title, hopefully this will work. No, oops. Let me turn off the rest of this. You'll see that if you turn on overlay metadata title, it matched up the name title here with this value and placed it in this text box on the video. So, well, it says title 1. So what does title 1 mean? So, and title trailers. And you can see that it took the title, because a lot of times if you have a title, you might want it in different places. So if this thing only could put it in one place, you would not be too happy. So if you create a text box with the word title underscore something else, one, trailers, whatever, let's see, here is another one. So you can put these, the idea essentially is you match up the word title equals, and then you can create a box and it'll show up on the thing when you essentially tell it to. So these red things are the connections between the file names and the corresponding boxes. Now, what you'll see sometimes is, okay, a note. When you see metadata title, it displays the current one, whatever's running. It won't display the main program title. It will, if you're doing a fill and you have a little clip or whatever, it will display that. Now, if you come down to overlay program, metadata program, that is always the main program that you have are going to run. So that lets you do a segment like the start segment, but you can use these blocks with the overlay metadata program before you actually run it. the overlay metadata without the program on it will run the current video that's running, if it has like a title or whatever. Now you'll see things like oops, I have the hardest time sometimes with this cursor. Where are you, cursor? Where are you? Oh, here we are. If you come down here, you'll see things like song. So if you have, I don't know if I have anything in there right now. Or song, artist, series, group, location. So you can essentially make up your own, add metadata to the title. And you'll notice that right now I have series equals dragnet. So if I had a one called series, okay, let's see if that works. You'll see that series came up, and you can't read it because it's designed for a white background and has black in there. So it really depends upon how these boxes and stuff are set up for background and whatever. But the idea is that you can take Doctor Who or Dragnet as in the folder name in addition to what's in the file name. So you can say, oh, Dragnet, and the series equals Dragnet, and the episode is this. And let's see. See if that works. Nope. So essentially, you can connect any of these boxes with a block, a segment, and tell the overlay to come up and starting at any time from the start of the block, going as long as you want, and then stopping. So you were able to, from the file name, customize the application. And you don't have to do anything other than, put the metadata over here in the file name, and you can create anything you want. If you want to create, author's wife, you can put it in the name, author's wife equals Ella, and you can come down here and create essentially an entry called overlay metadata underscore Della, author's wife, and it will now be able to stick that into the video just automatically. So it's sort of like a database that goes with the file, and you can copy the folder elsewhere and the data will still be there. So there's other tricks in here that I will explain in future videos, but essentially we have a timeline editor that creates the main timeline, this guy down here, and then we have a overlay editor that controls what overlays go there. And you can have things like slideshows. So let's see if I have okay, slideshow. No, yes, this is a slideshow. So you can have slideshows. You can, let me turn off these overlays. So you can have slideshows, you can have little slideshows, you can have all sorts of things. So let's come over here and let's run Dragnet and see what happens. So this guy right here is going to use this timeline and this overlay, and I have different ones. So let's just run it and see what happens. So you can see it has a slideshow here, it has some data here, it has the station ID, here's the slideshow, here's the storyline, here's the intro, here's the video. So you can see it, the video came on. So that's the video. This is the station ID, and that's all in these two templates. So you have really good control over overlays, song titles, things like that. So let's stop this, and I will go get a fun one. So let's see, where is it? Okay, here it is. Music. So what does that look like? This is a fun one. So you can see it brought up this mask. It brought up this song, artist, group, and that all came from the file name. And you can't hear it now, but it's playing REM. So if I get a different clip and play it, now you have Man in the Moon. Pretty good. And then it gets rid of this in a little bit, and you have just Man in the Moon. So let me get some music for you. See, where is the music? Okay. And if I run that, I have a different template and everything that was designed specifically for this. And if I run it, it comes up. This is the S block. The S block has a slideshow in it. It has some verbiage. It has a logo. It has a thing about the song. And it has the song. So if I come over here and look at the overlay thing, you will see here's the station ID overlay, here's the slideshow, and you can see that it starts in the S segment, or the start one, which I mentioned. Here is music background, and let's see, and here's some of the data that actually comes from the file name. So what else can this thing do? So let's see. Okay, here's the intro. Let me get a different one, because I want to show you the underlays. Okay, here's China Smith. Play the So what are underlays? So you'll notice that here is the program. Here is the storyline, more data that comes from file name. And you notice You have the movie, it's small, there's some, biographical data, name of the thing. And down here, well, you remember this is the show. Okay, and if I turn off the show, it goes away. But this thing is designed so if it's over the show, it's overlaid. It's on top of the show. If it's under the show, you'll see things like background color. So if I turn that off, you can put a background underneath your show. So this works pretty well for standard def shows that have that are small, or you have something over like this. So you can put overlays and underlays, and you can turn on the music, so for music backgrounds and things like that. So this is a slideshow. Turn it on and off. This is this guy right here. This guy is where's the slideshow? So this is the background. This is the solid. This is the main program. This is the slideshow and the logo and the main picture. Okay, where's the rest of it? So all these are turned on in a composite. So that's sort of the idea. You have, to review, you have program, they're divided into segments. Obviously a playlist is just one, but a 30-minute program or an hour program or whatever, it consists of a start, program main block, something to fill up the extra space, and end, and up to 20 extra blocks you can stick in there and do anything. And then the overlay editor lets you come along and say, in block da 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 da, I want you to start da 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 and show this. And it can be a graphic, it can be text, it can be a slideshow, it can be anything that essentially OBS can do. So right here under source type, you'll see image, text. Here's a video source. So you can pick the different overlays and turn them on, and also the underlays. And these can be MP3s, text, videos, whatever. So that's sort of the idea of this thing, is that I create a timeline editor, a overlay template, and a type of program that essentially is what I'm dealing with, China Smith. I can come over here and instead of having China Smith, I can make it more generic, and then just drag and drop something over to here. So there's more to the scheduler. I mean, you see dates, you see days of the week, you see sorting and stuff like that. So that's all in there too. But basically, the idea is I make a model with segments. I have a way in Timeline Editor of defining that, and then down here it says which ones to run. I have a overlay editor that controls what overlays go on what blocks, the timing, the lengths, etc. And then, of course, the scheduler itself, which takes these clips and makes a time of day type of thing so for you to run. So that's the model, and I hope that helps you understand the whole thing. From my mind to your mind. Sorry, Star Trekkers. From my mind to your mind. Okay, that's it for now. Okay, thank you for watching.